and Abby, this is so crushing that you guys, as super fans, are going out this way. I hate to just bring all this up, but let's get it out there. Walk me through the test, the protocol. How did this all happen?
Yeah, so they were really on it about testing us. They were doing a great job keeping everybody safe by doing a lot of tests. We finished that leg in Petra, went on to the next place and got to the next place and took a test, was inconclusive, took another test, it was positive, and very quickly they kicked us into other rooms because Abby was still tested negative. And it kind of hit, like, just came crashing down. Like, that's kind of it for us. So terrible.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I can feel it all like happen again. My goal today was to not cry in like every interview. So far, mostly good. But like first off, we hear the test is inconclusive. Probably they wanted to test him again to be sure. We get the positive test and it's just like your heart drops, right? Like it starts to settle in, like this is over. All day, like since the last leg, we're like, okay, we at least get one more leg. And then you don't even get that. And like feel that dream literally like taken out of your hands without any ability to like fight back from it. So we get that. I ugly cry that night, like lay in the shower for 2 hours, like just crying. And then we wake up the next morning and have the call with Phil.
You look like you were maybe still crying.
Oh, absolutely. I was. Those were the pretty tears in comparison. So I said, like, I just had to keep looking at Will because looking at Phil was kind of that reminder of like, we're here, like we're kind of still living our dream in the sense that like the whole journey isn't over, but like it also, this is it. Like once this Zoom call is over.
Right.
Race is done. Yeah.
And how much of this was in the back of your head? I mean, this is just, new to everybody, honestly, but you're doing this race of a lifetime, but there are these different protocols happening. Are you able to put it out of your mind while you race, or is it always a concern for you?
I think generally it felt like it was pretty out of mind. I mean, out of mind as much as it can be when you're still getting tested and like masks are still around. But when you're kind of there in the heat of the moment, there's so much other stuff you're stressed about, like, oh, how do I navigate? How do I do this next challenge? That the COVID piece kind of fades in the background. And I think all of us were aware of the risk of it, but no one wanted to think about it that much. No one wanted to go out that way. And so no one really talked about it. We just kind of did our health and safety procedures and just rolled on to the next thing.
And like, I was so stressed once we got the official call we were going to be on the cast that we were going to test positive in that time frame. So like the second we get the call and like we happen to be traveling, we got home and like I was like, Will, we can't even go outside to get toilet paper. Like we are not seeing anyone.
Right.
You have to go outside. You were wearing like 3 masks, right?
Right.
So leading up to that point was really where I was in like hyper stress mode. And then once we got into the bubble, it did feel a little bit like more controlled, right? Like they were testing us frequently. We were mostly coming into contact with people that they had tested or we were wearing masks. My stress about it had lowered. So like when they said his was inconclusive, I was like, Will, no way. Like we have been so careful. And then
right. And did anyone else get it? I mean, Abby, you were okay. Was it just Will?
Just me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Were you super, super sick, Will, or was it okay?
No, I had a bit of a scratchy throat. And frankly, we were in Jordan and I was like, it's really dry here. I probably just have a dry throat.
Right.
So having that dry throat, got that first inconclusive test. When I got it and I had a scratchy throat, I was like, I mean, I guess this could be something. So I was a little stressed. And then when they came back with the second one, I was like, dang, that's kind of what gets me. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so did you spend just 2 weeks apart in the same hotel, but in different rooms?
Yeah, we're right across the hall. It's about 10 days.
Oh, God.
So I was stuck in the hotel room. Abby was able to go down to the pool.
Have a little vacation.
Yeah, a little bit. Like not how I wanted to have it.
Right.
but one of the like I call them the show moms, Beth, stayed with me, and she was so great to us. The show really did take care of us. And so I said, I saw Will peeping out from behind his curtain. I'm down at the pool, and he's sitting up there in his robe, and his hair got a little bigger each day.
Oh, birds, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this race. I mean, Abby, you made it clear you're a super fan. You wanted to be on this show. How was it getting Will on board to audition for the show?
So it's interesting. They kind of edited it to make it seem like it was me and all me. He's like, we literally have been watching this show together like since we started dating. And so this was a dream of both of ours. I just tend to be a little more expressive, if you will.
Yeah, I cannot compete with the energy. So my energy is pretty like this the whole time. So you get me on camera, it's not like I'm going up and down, but every time they showed Abby's screaming. So.
Yeah, you're like, I'm here,
yeah.
I'm here.
I'm so excited.
Once you guys were cast and you're preparing, besides never leaving your house, how did you prepare for the race?
So this one is interesting, and I think this kind of leads into our whole Amazing Race experience. As a super fan, the second we get a call back, I am just like, what? No way. And then the whole time I'm so stressed that it's gonna like, we're gonna make it through pieces of the process, and then they're gonna be like, okay, we're not moving you forward. So I have this fear of like, if we prepare too much and then we don't get it, I will be just so heartbroken. Right. So like we started to learn stick. We like used a map. We're both pretty like fit generally. So like we stepped that up a little, but like I wasn't ready to like fully buy in because I didn't think I could survive the heartbreak.
Yeah, but we did some prep. We tried to learn a couple little languages, like little key language pieces, navigation challenge, like
I drove
geography.
stick all over Boston and stalled the heck out. And let me tell you, people do not like that.
Yeah, no, other people do not. Now this mega leg, I mean, it seemed like it broke a few teams, but you guys had your best finish at third place. What was the secret for you guys for that leg?
I think really it was just kind of head down. We kept cranking it out because after the Ducati, my confidence is pretty shaken in myself. I struggled with that, but we got through that piece and went on to the statue, navigated pretty well.
So a couple things about that one. Ducati didn't go well. And I was just like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You're not going to leave last. It'll be fine. So we get out of there, and then at the statue, I was actually like cranking it out. Like I was busting through mine, but then I broke a few things. Got a little overeager. So I had to patch those up, and it kind of felt like we were going to jump, and then we ended up, I think, leaving about the same time. But we had been to Florence. And so Will actually saw the map and like kind of had a rough idea of where we were. So when we saw the option to deliver the food or pick up the food and then deliver it, it was very clear this is what we're doing. So I think that benefited us, and the longer leg did too, because as a super fan, there's just excitement, and then nerves that like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to ever be over. And the mega leg gave us time to kind of like settle in, I think.
Yeah, I think to me, the biggest piece of it was like the first two legs, I was operating at such a high level of panic. I tell Abby, like, I think my brain was working like 25%. Like I couldn't think, I couldn't look at stuff. I would see something, then I'd forget it immediately. The third leg, part of it was because it was long, and also we'd had a couple days to like debrief between legs. We're like, okay, we're here now. We've made it through 2 legs. We're feeling good, and just getting that little bit of tiny bit more relaxed, a little bit more confident. Like we're here, we're doing okay. We can keep cranking through it. It just gave us more room to really kind of think through stuff, show that we can actually complete things. So that was huge.
And you mentioned in this leg that you wanted to run your own race. What was the strategy behind that?
So part of it was the kind of boost in confidence. We were feeling a little bit better, and like things that just kind of worked out. Like we struggled with Ducati, but then we showed up and we weren't that far out of it. And then Abby did well at the statue. And then we're like, we're right in the middle of this. Like we don't need to panic. Let's just do what we need to do. Let's navigate. Let's get this food. Let's get it to the spot, and then let's find our way to the pit stop.
And we actually like, okay, so we dropped our food off like moments, seconds before Lewis Michelle and Quentin and Maddie. So it worked out that we weren't working with them because we just start booking it to the pit stop. I mean, I gave my bag to Will and we are like sprinting there, busting people out of our way.
Yeah.
So I think the timing of it kind of worked out, that we knew what we were doing. It didn't make sense to work with other people. Let's just go.
Good chance for us to really step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out for you guys. Was there anything that surprised you about the race?
For me, it was Abby was really stressed leading up to it. I was not. I don't typically think about things until they're in my face.
Yeah.
And when it got me in my face on that first leg, I was like, I am not prepared for how stressful and adrenaline pumping this is. So as fun as and exciting it was, I thought it was a little bit going to be like, all right, we're just knocking out some challenges. Like, let's just do this and see the world. But I got there and I was like, oh, I'm going to throw up. I'm so stressed.
We literally thought he was going to throw up at the start line.
It was bad.
We were looking over at Austin and Nina. And Will was like, I'm going to throw up. And I think Nina goes, don't do that, because if you do that, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. What was your favorite? Was there a favorite leg or a favorite task? What was your favorite moment?
Austria. I think like yodeling, getting to wear the costume, having a beautiful view. And that one kind of got me out of my head because singing and dancing are not our thing. Like, I remember our cameraman was asking us on the way there, like, what do y'all hope is there so that you can make up some time? And I'm like, not singing, not dancing. Let's do something really powerful. And then we get there and it's yodeling, and it actually worked out because it was just fun. And so that was just all the Amazing Race dreams, like in one leg. That one was magical to me.
Yeah, and I agree. And it was incredible seeing Abby up on a like knoll in the middle of Austria yodeling. She looked so cute. And then despite me being a horrible dancer, we still knocked out a dance. I don't know why she chose that for us, but she did.
Literally, we had one strategy: don't dance if we have a choice. And the first thing I do, we're choosing on that second, I'm like, Will, we can dance. We can do this.
All of a sudden you're dancers. I mean, that was a tough leg because it was all musical. I mean, you just didn't have another choice.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of ultimately it. It was like either bells that are rhythm or dancing that is rhythm. And I'm like, at least we're athletes. So like dancing's athletic. Yeah. Maybe we'll do this one.
All right. Well, when you guys get invited back, because you gotta, so let's just say it like that. What are you going to train for this time?
Okay, I'm training for a half marathon right now because the race showed me that I can't run anymore. I think that, and we heard somewhere, or maybe it was Oscar and Nina, where like you should get on a roller coaster and then have something thrown in your face and make a decision about it. Okay. Because that is the best way to prep for the race. I'm like, we're gonna go to an amusement park. We're gonna put him on the roller coaster.
I've been telling Abby, I just gotta find out anything that makes my adrenaline pump, and then just try to think through things rationally when that's happening. Because when my adrenaline was pumping, I was just a lost puppy. I was like, send me in any direction, and that's the best I can do is walk straight.
Overall, what was this experience like to race together?
A dream. Like, it was everything that I was hoping for. Like, I won the opportunity to race with Will. Like, we've been dating for 9 years. We've been friends for 20. Like, I was kind of like, we won't get that much closer through this. But I think, like, you don't have all that much that really forces you to be a team in life. And I feel so much more connected to him, and that, like, we are Abby and Will. Like, we are that team. And, like, it is something so special to get to share this memory and this experience with him. And, like, dream big, my gosh. Like, we never thought it would. I mean, we did. We hoped it would happen. But, like, the fact that it did, I think, just has brought us so much closer than I really thought it could.
Yeah, to echo her, I mean, absolutely surreal experience. Horrible ending to it, but it does not at all take away from the fact that it was a dream come true, and we're grateful for every second of it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really hope we see you again.
Hopefully so.
Thank you so much.